Hi everybody, happy Friday. I have a bombshell today, and it is a result of hours and hours and hours going through footage. And I found something that has been absolutely overlooked, and for good reason. Hi there, everybody's starting to join in. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. This is a bombshell, and I'm not even going to say the name today, but we're going to start right now. This is who we're talking about. Now, my video the other day, every time I mentioned what was going on with this country, but when it got down to the nitty-gritty, I couldn't even edit those parts out on my smartphone. I do a lot of edits, and it wouldn't even allow my actions and voice. It would just have a picture of me and my voice. I couldn't get into the phone to change it. Yet I was doing all sorts of other footage through the videos. This is highly, highly censored. So we're going to be cool here for a little bit. I'm going to wait a little bit to get a few people on because, well, this is about this. And the fact that one of the most powerful men in the world, I think, has been compromised by it. What I've done today is I've lined up a whole lot of footage, and it is bits and pieces I've seen of this guy over the years. And again, I plowed through it again last night, putting it together. It occurred to me 3 days ago, but I needed to go back in time just to see if I was correct with my assertion. And then I started putting together a timeline. Hey, Michelle, Kelly, I know it's hard to see. Well, you're going to have to, That's the best I can do right now. Donna, Dimitri, Stephanie, Kelly, nice to see you guys. Well, it doesn't look like a lot of people are going to be jumping on right now. It's probably not the best time on Friday, but we're going to do it anyway. And they can catch up later. Okay, so this guy is the acting ruler of his dad is actually the ruler, but he's de facto right now. And he is the vision behind Vision 2030 and what I have been saying about Agenda 2030. Okay? He's a huge proponent of biotechnology. And I believe we've been completely underestimating his role in all of what's going on, even here in Canada, even in the United States, all over the world. Now, he's highly influential because, again, he's the one putting together the vision and actually acting on it, financing it. But I came across something that, well, it's related, but it's been swept under the rug, and it's massive. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch some footage, and I've put together a little list of 7 videos. Now I want you to watch his face while we go through this. Watch it closely, and I'll tell you when these videos were done. And again, bear with me and watch. All right, here. Now, this is an interview I had for the Future Investment Initiative. This was 2017. I played it the other day. Watch.
ضخمة جدا مستهدفة بحجم 500 مليار دولار.
Watch his face.
موقع مميز بين 3 قارات، بين أهم معابر النقل الجوي والنقل البحري. مثال على ذلك 10% من التجارة العالمية تمر بجوار الموقع من خلال البحر الأحمر. طبيعة خلابة، جبال وديان سهول شواطئ شعب جزر.
So he's pretty calm, cool, collected. Now, I'm going to pull this little bit of footage, and as I was going back and watching a whole lot of it, he seems to have, and just watch this. The little tick he has, and it's tiny, it's very, very inconsequential, normally. So we'll let him continue on.
هي الرؤية مرتكزاتها لابد تحط مناطق قوتك اللي تستطيع أن تعمل عليها في تاريخ هذه الرؤية.
Okay.
في الوقت الزمني اللي حددته.
All good. Now we're going to go to, he got his we'll let the video play. This was December 25th. Now again, I've gone through a whole lot of footage way back in time, and it's consistent with what I've shown you. Okay. So that is, again, December 25th. Now we're at January 24th here. Now the interesting thing is that normally you're supposed to get your little booster on, let me bring it back here. Normally you're supposed to get your booster a month later, but there was a little snag in that. Let's go back here, because according to this news service, they rescheduled their doses because there was a supply delay. Okay. Now, normally it would have made it so that he would have had to have his booster on January 25th. We are here at this on the 27th. Look at him.
60% من مشاريع صندوق الاستثمارات العامة والشركات تابعة له خلال 5 سنوات القادمة. ساهمت انجازات صندوق الاستثمارات العامة في تحقيق الاستدامة المالية والتنموية للاقتصاد السعودي، ويلتزم الصندوق بضخ 150 مليار ريال. Okay, all good. We can go check him out a little bit more. Let's make sure. في الناتج Okay, come on. هذا ستكون نهضة المملكة ارتقاء للعالم. أود أن أشكر.
Okay, all good. Now, this is on the 29th. Now again, Pfizer has been delayed. Okay, so they were advising everyone in Saudi Arabia that you could get it 6 weeks instead of 4.
Therefore, true growth begins in the cities, whether in terms of innovation, education, services, tourism, and other sectors. This is why the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, we must concentrate on the cities that have capabilities to grow and can achieve economic progress and growth in jobs and more services. Therefore, the cities are very important for development.
Okay, so now we know that this had been delayed. So at this time when he just had that last interview, he wouldn't have had his booster yet. Or you wouldn't think. Maybe he did. But this is on February 25th. Okay, he's all in good health. He went in for emergency. Now, laparoscopic is normally used for emergencies, for appendicitis. I had it, so I know this. Now, he comes out. He hasn't been seen. I've looked and looked for footage. But April 28th, this is a mega interview. All over the world. Watch. Watch his face.
حتى مع دول الخليج أو أقرب دولنا لابد أن يكون في هامش اختلاف، وهذا هامش اختلاف طبيعي جدا. حتى في البيت الواحد لن تجد الأخوة متفقين 100% في كل شيء. مع إدارة وإدارة أمريكية قد يزيد هامش الاختلاف أو يقل، لكن أكثر من 90% مع إدارة الرئيس بايدن متفقين عليها في مصالح السعودية الأمريكية، كلنا نعمل على تعزيزها بشكل أو آخر.
هي موضوع ال10% سمو الأمير، هي فقط
Watch this.
$6 ذهب العقد لبريطانيا لن تكون
All
أمريكا
through.
بوضعها الحالي اليوم. إيران دولة جار وكل ما نطمح له.
I have watched more footage of this man, and you,
طيبة.
this is new.
لا نريد وضع إيران يكون صعب، بالعكس نريد إيران مزدهرة تنمو، لدينا مصالح فيها، لدينا مصالح فيها.
Now, I thought I was the first to find this, but of course, no, I wasn't. Oh, sorry, watch the highlights. Sorry, this is the guy that got it right here. Oh, sorry, where is he? Oh, I think I got rid of it, unfortunately, but somebody did scoop it and say that he had Tourette's. All of a sudden. I'll pull that up and I'll put it in the comments. But now this is interesting because it's pronounced throughout this interview. And of course we showed this on, I did a live the other day and we talked about this. Not the fact that he's doing the involuntary thing, but the conference he was, or the interview he was giving right there. Now, interestingly enough, I went to WebMD and I was absolutely shocked to read that according to them, the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine side effect by likelihood and severity. Let's go. I'll let you see it. Of course, you've got your joint and muscle pain, low energy, chills, headache, reactions at the site of injection, sudden pain, maybe fever, local fluid collection, nausea, vomiting, a feeling of general discomfort and malaise, injection site arrhythmia, rare side effects, appendicitis. Right there. Now, he went in on February 24th for appendicitis. And, well, as you could see from those interviews, something has happened between then and now. And that is the involuntary thing. Now, he's only got that interview out. Every other bit of footage I could find anywhere is just stills of him. That's the only live. But that is significant, I would think. The elite doesn't do vaccine. Well, I'm sorry, girl. That says to me he did. Especially the appendicitis. Now, the one thing about what people don't understand is that they absolutely believe in these. He's selling this whole entire Vision 2030. This is based, like, biotechnology isn't oh, we can take it or leave it package here. It is absolutely integral in all of it. Management, like animals. This is what they're calling performance medicine. And this is why they want to jab everybody, because they want us on the same playing field. Again, if you can't tolerate them, you're just not going to last. Now, it doesn't look to me like this guy has... nobody's saying a word. It's pretty obvious to me something's gone wrong here. Now, the thing is, I do have a personal experience, and again, I'm no expert here, but I have a personal experience of a woman many years ago, is right after when I was sick as a dog from the flu vaccine, 1993, and the last time I ever did one. Well, the fact is, a friend of mine 2 weeks later went and got the flu vaccine. And when she left, she had Bell's palsy, where her face was frozen, but she also had a tic. And that is something that is in the literature. It is. Now, it's my belief that a lot of these, again, this gene therapy is and will express any weaknesses you have. Like, express them so that you're on your way and it pushes you through, maybe to the other side if you're not well. This is eugenics, we know that. And it seems to me that this guy has had a bad reaction to it. Again, he is a healthy, fit man. And again, I have gone through oodles and oodles of footage, and he is calm as calm. Again, every once in a while, I see him do that little thing, but it's minimal and it's not pronounced. Not like this spot. Let's go look at it again. Where are we here? Hold on. Let's go back here and get him full on.
برميل نفط الرخيص من تكلفة إنتاجه من 3 إلى 6 دولار ذهب العقد لبريطانيا. لن تكون أمريكا بوضعها الحالي اليوم. إيران دولة جار وكل ما نطمح له إنه
He has never done that.
طيبة ومميزة مع إيران. لا نريد
Could it be?
بالعكس نريد إيران مزدهرة تنمو، لدينا مصالح فيها، لدينا مصالح فيها، لدينا مصالح المملكة العربية السعودية لدفع المنطقة والعالم للنمو.
Now you gotta know, guys, that he would be invested, again, with the Agenda 2030 cartel in the success of this V. He is. What do you guys think? I'm going to put all the links in the comments so you can check out more footage for yourself and get all the goods. Now, an interesting part that I thought, well, was interesting was a little article, and this one is from the National Library of Medicine, and let's just take a look of what it says about Tourette's. Gilles de la Tourette syndrome, advice in the times of COVID-19. The novel coronavirus disease, COVID-19, was identified as the cause of an outbreak. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Gilles de la Tourette syndrome is a childhood onset neurodevelopment disorder with a worldwide prevalence of about 1% of the population. The clinical symptoms include multiple motor and one or more phonic tics. Germane to this communication is that 85% of patients with GTS have associated psychiatric comorbidities, many of which are being exacerbated in the current global health crisis. In addition, several symptoms of GTS may mimic COVID-19, such as dry cough, sniffing, phonic tics, while other symptoms of GTS may mimic COVID-19, such as spitting, inappropriate touching of others, and non-obscene socially inappropriate symptoms can potentially get patients with GTS into trouble with the law. In any case, yes, Bill, I did see the Wellcome Trust, and I was actually on that about a week ago while I was investigating the whole cartel. And then, of course, you brought it to my attention yesterday yet again. In any case, I think that I think it's pretty prolific. I'm sorry, again, I've watched him for days and days, believe me, and I have not seen that until this. And then I started looking for the Tourette sort of syndrome. And then I came across the WebMD that said that it was, appendicitis was a rare side effect. That's big. And I don't know how they plan to continue hiding that unless they've got a way to rid him of that. Again, he's heavily invested in the success of these products. And the fact that the international media has skirted over this is, well, I mean, that is an international piece. Absolutely international. There's no way they should have missed that. And then a guy, again, caught it the same day, and it was anonymous something. And it was the only thing up, and I think it had 2,000 views. And I found that after, like this morning, after I found it, and then there he was nailing it out. I think it's important, and wow, I think if we get it out there, could be a bit of a turning point because he's high profile. He is. Like higher profile than a lot of people, because like I said, because of my videos this last couple of weeks, like they're literally shutting it down. And when I spoke about this man the other night and what was going on with that murder, that part I cannot edit out of my videos in its entirety. It's like it shuts it down. And of course, that's when my video cut off at minute 53 the other day. Boom, everybody got shifted off. And then it's like, the video is like, oh, we can't play that part. It's a bit of a find. Gates bought the media, BBC, Garden. Oh God, yes. I think our leaders have been duped. You see, they really do believe it, guys. Like, you got to understand, people believe in these vaccines. They do. They do. They think it's a savior. They don't understand. And again, if you have underlying conditions, it's my contention and my belief that it actually expresses them or helps to. So again, that little involuntary thing he does, like again, in the older film, 5-6 years ago, every once in a while it's this thing, kind of like the nose wiggle. But people have that. And again, little tics, that's not a big deal. But again, if he got that second one, or it could express it later. We don't know that. But the fact that there was appendicitis in there was alarm bells for me. And again, the physical representation. I reserve judgment for a future date when I'm safely behind the safe confines of this local gulag. I do too. Wait. I believe they express conditions. And I know from the flu vaccine when I had it, 1993, my boss made me do it. And as an asthmatic, it was horrible on my lungs. This whole thing is all about the lungs. I'm not going and saying, have at her, no way. Again, I'm reading through the clinical study. I did post that on Telegram at Unmask the Fear. The Pfizer clinical study is there. And it clearly says, that yes, it can. Skin contact and air. It says it in black and white. It's their work, not mine. But again, I go through WebMD, I go through all of these sites, and they're like, it's perfectly fine for pregnant women. It's perfectly fine. Again, no mention. It's crazy. In any case, I hope you guys share that one away because I think that can make a dent if they let it get out. Hopefully I'll have an account. But I'm going to get it on YouTube and NewTube. NewTube won't get censored because I know him. But then again, we have got all of this craziness coming up with Bill C-10 in Canada. And the fact that free speech, this is a big problem. I'm sharing a whole lot of content on Telegram. Thank you to the angry Albertan because he shouted me out yesterday. Every time he shouts me out, I double my people. This one went out by, I think it was 140 people last time I looked in a day. So that was pretty prolific. A lot of people are getting the hang of it over there. And I have a little group on the side. There's only 16 members right now. It's tiny. But I'm finding that that's where people are practicing up on Telegram and getting used to the platform. Again, so you can comment and then become part of the group if you want. And then you can post stuff there. And again, it'll get you into the hang of things, into this new platform. Because again, it's just we have to retrain. This platform, Facebook, Instagram, they all count on the fact that that we like constancy and that we don't like to change. They know that. And that's why they're twisting the screws and tuning us out. And that's what's happening one by one. So sad to see Dr. Mercola, again, having to pull articles about COVID-19. He's been squeezed out of Facebook, out of Twitter, and now on his own website, having to, again, tailor his material to not include natural health in any protocols. The fact that they're tuning all that out tells us the reliance they have on this biotechnology. And again, the absolute faith. Now, I understand that because I'm from Saskatchewan and I'm in Biotechville. They run the joint here. And I'll tell you, these people are convinced. Like, when the mask and all of that came down, I think a lot of people in small town Saskatchewan thought it would be fine out there. But it wasn't, because even before it was being mandated, people were being bullied, because these are the communities that, well, the chemical farmers, they don't care what anybody has to say. And they've been taught this biotech superiority for so many years. Of course, there wasn't any chemicals for crops until after the Second World War, where all the chemicals they were using to kill people, they decided to kill the insects on our food. This is a reality. And these people believe that they are literally making humanity superior. And is it superior? A superior race? A superior... this is where we're going with this. It's about culling out the weak. And you know what? I wouldn't call MBS, I wouldn't be calling him weak. He's not a weak man. So if that happened to him, that can happen to anyone. He's a prince. He has the best medical care in the world. We wouldn't have that. We won't. And they're already telling us. Again, the hospitals are overwhelmed. We know that in most cases, what I continue to hear every few days is reports from here and there in the country of people experiencing the hospitals. And they're not telling the same stories the media are. Tennille, I remember running away from DDT spray when the city sprayed. They usually sprayed after everyone went to bed and we'd be told to close our windows. Occasionally they sprayed early. Yes, they were spraying. I remember I had my cats outside one day and I saw them going down the street spraying. And I don't even know what it was. I think it was malathion. The DDT, I mean, again, oh, that was settled science too. They were spraying that on, on immigrants when they came in the country, powdering them. It's disgusting. Again, the winners are the people selling these chemicals, the solutions, or what they're calling solutions. And they're certainly, see, they think this is sustainable. Again, it's about management. Performance medicine, where again, once we're all wired in, they can zoom in on a problem and treat you right away. But for somebody like me, when I get a problem, I want to try to attack that naturally. That's not going to be the way. It's going to be medicated. And, well, they're inducing it, aren't they? They are. In all of their literature, they do say that you should consult your healthcare provider if you're immunocompromised. Yet, they tell them that it's fine to get. No, it's not. I believe it will express. That's my personal opinion, and I just think we saw that with MBS. Something tiny turning into something big, and it didn't have to happen. We've become too dependent on big pharma and big technology. Rather than using it to enhance our lives, we've allowed it to replace common sense and proper nutrition. For sure, the quick solutions, that's what people want. Lickety-split. That's not how you get good health. Believe me, especially when you have to fix it. It takes quite a bit longer than that. but it can be done. And I've watched it over and over, and I've heard the stories over and over for years and years. That is why I continued, honestly, doing promotions for the last 10 years, because I love talking to people and hearing their stories. And when I get that 90-year-old woman bounding through the door, like practically skipping, and of course, like, first thing I ask is, what are you here to buy? And they always have a list. And they've been doing it for 30, 40 years. And it works for them. And that's what I see. And then I talk to them, and, you know, most of their friends aren't doing better, or most of them are dead at that age. That's what I hear. And the fact that their friends didn't take care of themselves like she did. They're not going to let us do this naturally. They're going to push against us. And they are. And the extraordinary amount of stress they're creating for us right now, like, as if we don't have enough stress. Now, this is interesting too. I have a friend, they used to crush my hemp seed oil up north, his dad and Lucas. In any case, Lucas has been in touch. He doesn't wear a mask, and he has managed to get himself exemptions. And honestly, I was absolutely impressed to hear this, because he hasn't just gone, he has gone to human rights, but that's been ridiculous as far as he can see. But what he's done is he's managed to actually go to the corporations and receive the exemptions. So for Scotiabank, for example, in his town of Tisdale, he got an exemption to walk in maskless. He's gone to the grocery store, same thing, gone to the corporations. And then he did it with Canada Post, because they weren't going to even serve him out the back door. So this is interesting stuff. Now, what he also has created is a affidavit saying that in Saskatchewan, you don't want this amendment. And it is an affidavit. And he's had somebody legal look at it, and it's gotten the John Henry on a more friendly basis. I looked at it, and I'm pretty impressed with it. And I think it's something worthy to consider. So if anyone would like that, it is on Telegram. I posted it today. Now, this is just for Saskatchewan right now, but it could be customized for any place in our country, and I'm sure all over the world. It's a worthy look. If you're not over on Telegram and you want it, just give me a message, and when I get to it, I will send it to you as well. Again, he has a group on Telegram, and I posted that on mine today at Unmask the Fear. So it's another reason to get over there, because again, we're getting things, I don't want to post it on Facebook. Well, it's a PDF too. I could take a picture of it and that, but again, let's try to keep this a bit on the lowdown for a bit until we get more people looking at it. And again, if you have any suggestions, this is why we join these groups. I'm impressed with this guy. As impressed as I was as to the craftsmanship that went into my hemp seed oil in the day. It was literally the best in the world. And his dad was a craftsman, and he taught him well. And I'm, again, very impressed with the work he's done. And I think it's a worthy look. Let me know. Carmen, this woman has been made a full-time patient, just nuts. I believe her story is common. My mom just got the Pfizer jab about 2 weeks ago. She's been paid up in bed for the last 4 days. General malaise. She thinks adverse events only happen immediately after the jab, like everyone else in my family, and actually believes she has COVID and the jab is what's saving her life. How the hell do I get through to my family? I know I don't. When we've been down this rabbit hole for years, there's too much ground to cover to pull people up to speed. Well, my mom is hell-bent on going back for seconds because she's sure she'll die without it. I can't believe believe how many people think that you must get pain to be well or get sick to be well. What is wrong with these people? I know, Carmen. It's hard to get through. I have to say, I'm pretty fortunate. My parents, they've been listening to me. And again, my dad was paralyzed from the waist down after the H1N1. So they learned, and they're not intending to do any of it. Again, as I keep saying, guys, this is everyone's journey. It truly is. It's unique. It's theirs. For me, I believe in karma and lifetimes, and it gets me through the day that this isn't their lifetime to be enlightened. And, well, if they get the gene therapy, I'm worried that they're going to be disconnected from soul forever, but here's hoping. I hope that it will be exposed. And again, with guys like MBS today, and that reaction, again, he hasn't been seen except for that international interview. And again, not seen since. I've looked for this last week. After that, nothing. It was pronounced. And I don't think that just emerged. Just like that. No. But do you think they'll blame it on the... I'm sure it'll be anything but. There's too much money invested. It's crazy. Yeah, well, guys, the census taker dropped off my form yesterday and she's worried. She asked if I had the shot and then apologized for asking. Yeah, my census, that came too. I don't want to fill it out. I just don't. Quite honestly, I'm showing my house right now, and I don't really want to be around anyone who hasn't or who has. Again, I've read about the side effects. I think they should stay inside. I do. Somebody tried to do that in BC. I saw an article, I shared it on Telegram last night, and that was about a yoga studio in BC who had put a notice to their members that anyone who had weren't welcome, that they should stay home. And now the law's after them. We're not even able to protect ourselves yet. They can do and enforce that if we don't get it, that we can't participate with them. A casino on Aboriginal or Indigenous land in New York State, a friend of mine, Dorothy, sent me this one this morning, a little video. Again, I put that on Telegram. And they are now reopening. But if you are from outside the 300-mile radius in which I guess that they've allocated, you cannot come to the casino unless you've had. So if you're in Florida and you wanted to visit friends and family in New York State and go to that casino, you must present your papers. So it's happening, guys. They got the Indigenous, boy. They are stakeholders in it all. And they've got them convinced that this is going to save them. Like, a lot of people don't realize that here in Saskatchewan, Alberta, BC, Manitoba, for 44 years, they sterilized Aboriginal women and stole their babies. They did, and adopted them. It was going on when I was running to Central America to learn about genocide. Little did I know it had been happening here in my country, under my nose the whole time. Or at least the first 18 years of my life. Fancy that. We had no idea about that until years later. And they're not going to know how this pans out till years later. The Seychelles, for example, the islands, Seychelles, they've vaccinated 60% of their population, and apparently now COVID is surging again. Fancy that. And then variants. What do you do? I guess they're protecting. Where are we here? I'm blown away by the fact Indigenous people trust the government. Yeah, you and me both, Elizabeth. It's crazy. They've completely forgotten. They have picked up the mask. Again, my city has about a 10-12% population of Indigenous people. They like the mask from what I see. They were a little bit of the BLM problem for me, and in the past I'd never had a problem with that community. In fact, I'm always engaging. I have no problems there, and it changed. Again, when they got the narrative that I was a horrible person, they came in. It's crazy. I guess they're protecting us by segregating us, when in fact I think the pressure will coerce us. Well, they know, you see, they realize that our whole lives we've been socialized that we must have all these friends and we must have all this action, hence drama. I've been out of that for quite some time, but I know how much people believe that they must have all of this around them. And again, they've been socialized that life isn't anything without it. It's all what you believe. It is. In any case, when you see a leader of a mega country invested in this with all of a sudden these symptoms, that is crazy. Julie, nice to see you. It's easier to fool people than convince the people they have been fooled. Yes, indeed. They are fooling. I can't believe that these people are falling for this. I can't believe it. But they are. Right before our very eyes. People that we've known for years that are intelligent. Blind faith in these amendments. And again, it's because they've been socialized from birth that they're beneficial. There's more of us, though, than we know. I know there is. And they're coming out of the woodwork now. They really are. Florida has said no, they will not have the vaccine passport. Of course, they say no to the mask, but in corporations, that's still going on. It will be the corporations that push this in these red states. This is how they're going to get her done. And, well, it's like they're tweaking our genes to get ready for socialism, because it's not in ours here in the West. It's not. But by the time they're done with us, this is the idea here, because we're going to be sucking up 57% personal income tax. That's what they pay in Sweden. And that's why they didn't get the measures. And I've been saying that one for over a year. Virtually cashless. Microchipping since 2014 in the corporations. 99% vaccinated. And again, the interesting thing about Sweden is the fact that I've read where they made it mandatory. But when you go back now, it's like they've scrubbed a lot of that out. And it's like, oh no, they never made it mandatory. But they did in businesses and corporations. And that is how they achieve that 99%. And people just do it. They deny what's going on right before their very eyes. And again, they will literally end up sick, a full body rash. And it's like, okay, yeah, we're going for our second one. It's insane. I'll charter my flights from here on in if necessary. Tennille, you know, this is another thing. All these billionaires, you know what they're doing? They're investing in charter airlines right now. They are. That's going to be the way. The problem is in a lot of the countries, it'll take the third world a while to catch up. But the G20, well, again, Europe, they're working on the European Union, United States, Canada, Australia, to wire in these vaccine passports. Now, it looks like in Australia, they're fighting back finally. But again, they're still going for, again, the integration of these and requirements of these passports to prove that you have been vaccinated. Illinois just said they gave up the vax passports also. I am so relieved. But if the corporations make them vaccinate to go to work, it's going to be hard in those states, and they have a fighting chance. I believe it. I saw, I don't know what her last name is, Christie, the governor of South Dakota. She's really impressive. I like her. Again, fighting back, and they are welcoming people from all over the United States to move to South Dakota for freedom. People are moving their businesses there. They're getting ready for their 4th of July. And of course, Biden is trying to come down on her, but she's just not playing ball. So again, those red states are in good shape. And in Canada, we just don't have that option. Nowhere. Every party here is playing ball. They are. To a fault. I'm trying to find doctors as investors to buy a small Learjet. I've always wanted to get my pilot's license. Me too. I thought that would be a nice little project as, well, maybe after this, after I get censored. And I'll need a way to escape. I've noticed Nicaragua hasn't, again, they're not pushing it. Mexico is sort of pushing it. But again, so much, those countries, the one saving grace they have is the fact that, number one, their food system is largely local and localized. So it's not like us where they go, you know what, you can only go to Walmart. Well, again, most of the population doesn't live like that there. There are the central markets. There are food stands on the side of the road. Everywhere you look, there's food. I mean, if you're sitting at a stoplight, limes show up. I mean, you can even get flowers in the at the stoplight. Any kind of snack you want, it's there. Largely localized. It's going to take them a long time to deal with that. And perhaps this is what they need coming up, but they're not going to be under the same pressure that we are here to get this amendment. And again, if they won't treat you in the hospital unless you have it, this is what, again, the mask was a non-negotiable, even for cancer treatment. It was. It doesn't matter. They'll medicate you to make you tolerate it. And we know that this has already happened once in Saskatchewan with a woman who was going to go for surgery, but then ended up having it delayed. But she went and got to satisfy them. Time to vote with your money, not support the corporate sellouts. I'll tell you, in my town, it's not so easy. One of the stores, organic, got shut down for 2 weeks. While Costco, for one employee who was in the back, tested positive. What in the world were they testing for? I have no idea, but she might have come in contact with someone. Again, this is how they suck you in. Yet Costco, the very same week, had 6 down. 6 people with COVID. And then, of course, I know people that spun off to. Yet, not the same rules for them. The corporations are getting away with. They seem to be needed more than small business. And again, this is a way of gutting it. We talked about this the other night in my video, and that was about the fact that in order to rejig these cities and make them become smart cities, or again, visions like Neom in Saudi Arabia, it's easier to have it gutted, like to have no structures, to start from absolute scratch, to build the infrastructure from the ground up. That's what they want to do. And it's really the very same thing with us and this gene therapy. They want to basically take us down to the ground level and start with their system And they don't care how that affects us. They don't. We're seeing it. I will be your co-pilot, Tennille. Go natural. I am. You know what? Again, I've been natural for a long, long time. I believe in it. It works for me. I watched it turn people around. Turn them around. Just like that. When a billionaire business owner owns politicians, they benefit. When small business owners don't, for sure. Absolutely. And again, their corporate policy, again, across the board with all the corporations. And again, those are the asset managers running the show for the Agenda 2030 cartel. Everyone has to be up to speed or they're getting left behind. They've been told by these asset managers they will not fly. They won't. I don't rely on the medical mafia. You know what? I don't either, Elizabeth. I got rid of I only had one medication for a year. You know what? I would have been on 5 if they had their way. I would have had the Ventolin, the steroids. I would have had Fosamax for my bones. I would have had blood clots. What's that one? Warfarin. They wanted to put me on that when I got roofied in keto in 2010. And I was at a high altitude and they wanted to put me in the hospital and put me on that. And I said no. And I went and ate baby aspirin. No. Also wanted to put me on Lipitor too for high cholesterol. But the fact is I'm in O negative blood type and we have high cholesterol. Both LDL and HDL. The relativity is all about cholesterol. I learned all of this on my own, or well, again, researching, right? I mentioned that to the specialist and he told me I was right. So again, I could be on 5 different medications now and I'm not. And when it came down in March, I had inhalers. I always bring them back from South America. But I went to the pharmacy and they had no Ventolin inhalers all throughout Canada at Safeway. That was a year ago, March. It was shocking to me. And it was that day that happened. I was backed up, but I went, you know what? I have gotten rid of just about everything. This one has to go. I cannot be reliant on a medication with what's coming down. And I don't know, but by November, again, there was one day I woke up and I'd gone through just about the entire day and I didn't need my inhaler. And I think now I've had 1 squirt all week. So I took it like 4 times a day, 3, 4, sometimes 1. It was dependent, but it was never a day I woke up that I didn't need to take it. And now that's gone. And that was natural. Vitamin A, my friends. Hi, Lauren. How are you doing? Elizabeth, essential oils. I am getting into those more. I use them, again, peppermint when I go to sleep at night. I use Palo Santo. I use it for my cleaners as well. Clary Sage builds progesterone. Always need that as you're aging. One's brain needs cholesterol to function. It absolutely does. That whole no fat thing was the biggest fallacy ever. And so is the drinking 8 glasses of water a day too. There's so many things that they have, again, made us think that are set in stone. And I'm sorry, you don't eat an egg for the egg white. You eat it for that yolk. You need that. Your brain needs that fat. Your skin needs it. I see a lot of people that have eaten really heavy carbs and they seem to age a little bit faster. Again, you're not getting the fat. We have been the fear of fat is ridiculous. And honestly, I had to stop myself 2 weeks ago. I like whipping cream a lot, like a liter a week, a lot. And I forgot that I had a dairy allergy. I just started doing it again, in my coffee and then, on my strawberries or something. And then when I was doing No Mass Sask, I got pretty well, again, I wasn't stopping to make food, so I would, get strawberries and cream, and it filled me up. And then I forgot I had this rash, and it was building under my eyes, here. Stopped the dairy last week. Gone. I do eat a lot of butter. I like butter, and I like I do goat, brie, cheese. And I ditched the whipping cream, though. I can't be getting a rash. But this is it. Again, you get better and you forget what you did before. And this happens with supplements all the time. So my advice on that is just keep going. You don't get to feel better and then just go, oh, I'm done. It's not like the pharma. And again, you're never done with that pharma. I don't care what they say. Once they've got you on there, it's pretty tough to get away. I met a lot of people like that in the health food store that were doing just that. Getting away from the pharma. Their objective when they came through the door the very first time was to get off the sauce. And again, familiarize themselves with a whole new world, because this whole new world has been there from before all of this stuff. And we don't need it. You know what? There's rare cases for sure that you need to be medicated. But I think the first tact should be trying to attack it as naturally as possible. And let your body click back into remembering what it needs to do. The fact is we've been and had our systems interrupted by all these chemicals, additives, the GMO foods. I had a great discussion this morning with Lucas about the GMOs and how I've seen doing Airbnb in my house. I had my 7-year social experiment, and that was about, people that ate real food. And when I first started doing Airbnb, they would come for like a week. They didn't just come for a couple of days. It was usually about 5, 6 days, 7 days, sometimes a couple of weeks, sometimes a month. And I would have, different people here all the time. And the ones that ate real food went to the grocery store, that would make the food, or again, they would walk in the house. Hi, Martine. And it wouldn't matter if I was in another room. It was kind of like as a little girl, how I'd walk into the house when my mom was home. Hi. And that's what they would do. They'd walk in the kitchen. They were super sociable. The people that ate out of the microwave and ate out for every meal, that was a different deal. They would walk in the house and they would avoid me. They were antisocial. They would go straight upstairs to the room. They would bring home food and then go to the room and eat it on their bed. Well, it's not like the rooms were big or anything. So this is, again, I've seen all sorts of changes over the last 20 years, and I've paid a lot of attention. And I'll have to tell you, after 700 guests, that's how many I have in multiple properties. My social experiment told me the same thing over and over and over again. Those eating that real food, preparing it without additives, preservatives, crap. They were the social, they were the ones in touch, in tune, a different demeanor. Because again, that food is deadening us. Not me. I don't eat the crap. Good Lord, taking good health, just got her frozen. We've got this one life, and I knew I didn't want to be dependent. And again, this type of amendment is doing just that, making us dependent. All of a sudden you get it, and then you've got a problem. You're having to engage with the people who did it to you to start. No way. I don't care if some people get through it, okay. I'm not taking a chance. And I think most of the people that I connected with aren't either. We're not prepared. We're doing our research and watching. And when you see somebody like the Crown Prince have what I think is a reaction with the best doctors in the world, surrounded by them, surely, tells me no one's infallible to this. No one. So why would we take a chance? I'm not prepared to do it. I'm going to leave you with that. I would love it if you would share this video because, again, it's interesting. And I will put all of those links so you can go through some film and take a look at this guy. And you tell me what you think. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone.